Greetings! This video is to welcome you to PH204 Concepts in Physics and Astronomy for the fall semester. I'm Dr. Hawkins, and if you've gotten to this video, then I'm assuming that you know how to access Blackboard. If you don't know how to access Blackboard, you're probably not watching this. So, so you've gotten that far. So this course is essentially going to be an online course, except for the exams, which will be proctored in the designated classroom. But the course is going to be mostly online because I am about 1,000 miles away from Blue Mountain in Ohio, and so all the content of this course is going to be accessed through Blackboard. And what I've done is I've put almost everything under the Content tab, which you find on the left side of the screen once you enter the course on Blackboard. And what I have there currently is the syllabus for the course, which we'll talk about just a little bit, and this video that you're watching. And I have a link to McGraw-Hill's Connect site, which is where you will be doing the bulk of your assignments. And also there is a folder for each chapter covered in the course, and I put, along with the name of each chapter, the due date for the online assignment for that chapter, just for convenience. And within the folder for each chapter, there will be PowerPoint slides. In some cases, there will be additional web links, animations, videos, whatever kind of supplementary material I believe will help you grasp the material best. And so that all that content right there is going to get you most of the way through the course. In addition, there are, in addition, under the Discussions tab on the left side on Blackboard, I've set it up so that there will be a place for general discussions, just questions you have about the course, comments you want to make about the course, and also discussion topics specifically for each chapter in case you have any chapter specific questions. And so let's quickly talk about the syllabus. You don't necessarily have to have it right as you're watching this, but I just wanted to go over a few points in the syllabus. So, quick introduction to the course. This is a course that covers physics and astronomy from mostly a non-mathematical viewpoint. It's focused mostly on concepts. The PowerPoint slides in particular will include some mathematical equations, and I would definitely recommend you trying to understand those equations, because mathematical equations are simply a compact way of expressing relationships, physical mathematical relationships. So they're there to aid you. Now, if you're deathly afraid of mathematics, then you can probably get by while avoiding the math, but I would definitely recommend trying to understand the math along with the concepts, because they go intimately together. That said, when we get to the exams are not going to include any sort of calculations, or they're not going to require any in-depth understanding of equations. The exams are going to be fully conceptually based, so there won't be any math explicitly on the exams. The course will be roughly 2/3 physics, 1/3 astronomy, and there will be 3 exams. There'll be 3 exams plus a final exam. The exam dates are given on the syllabus, so they are scheduled for September 28th, Thursday, October 26th, Thursday, and November 30th, Thursday. And November 30th is during Dead Week, so there are certain Dead Week policies that affect the percentage of the final grade that exam can comprise, but I'll talk about that in a minute. And then the final exam is the regular scheduled time, December 5th at 1:30. So as I mentioned before, the exams will be in class. That's the only time where you will be required to be in the classroom rather than online. But as far as the grades for the course, it's broken down, and again, this is affected by the Dead Week policy. The first exam and the second exam are both worth 13.33% of the final course grade. The third exam is worth 10%. That's because of the Dead Week policy, that no exam given during Dead Week can be worth more than 10% of the final grade. And then the online assignments, which will be accessed through the McGraw-Hill Connect link on Blackboard, those are going to be worth 22.22% of the final grade. There will be a few additional assignments, not many. There are less than there would be if we were actually having an in-class course, so I have to kind of adjust that, but those assignments altogether will be worth 11.11% of the final grade, and then the final exam will be worth 30.01% of the final grade. Now, I will be sure to give you information leading up to the exams so that you know roughly the format and what to expect for the exams, so that will come later. The online assignments, accessing them, so there is a link to McGraw-Hill Connect, and when you go to that link, it will ask you for your email address and password for Connect. If you have used Connect before, you will access there. If you haven't, then go to the lower right of the screen and it will say register now, and then you will enter your email address, and as long as it doesn't detect that you've already used that email address, it will take you to the registration page where you will enter the registration code, which either you purchased it from the bookstore or you purchased it through a third party. You can get it through, say, Amazon. You can also use a credit card at the McGraw-Hill site and purchase it there. There's also the option of a 2-week free trial, which I wouldn't recommend this. So let me make this clear. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really want to try to squeeze in all of the online assignments within that 2-week free trial, you can do that and not pay any money, but I don't think it would make your course experience as valuable or worthwhile as if you focus on each chapter in the week or two that it's allotted and give yourself enough time to process the material. But you can do that if you want to. I don't recommend it. Once you get onto the course page for McGraw-Hill, so once you've registered and put in the code, then what you'll see is the assignments. I'm going there myself right now. You will see the assignments on the left, including their due dates. They're all generally due at 11:59 p.m. on the date given. The first assignment's due September 1st, so you have a couple of weeks to access the site and work on that first assignment. And I usually try to have at least 1 week between assignments to make sure that you're not rushed too much. I understand you're probably taking several other courses. Also on that main Connect page for the course, on the right hand side there is a link that says ebook, and it says Physical Science Bill W. Tillery 11th edition. That is where you can access the textbook. You don't need to have a physical copy of the textbook unless you really want one, and if you really want one, I would recommend just getting a used copy somewhere for cheap. It doesn't have to be the current edition. The book has not changed that much over the last several years. But once you get on the assignments, and this is probably the last real informative thing I'll talk about before ending this video. Once you get to the assignments, it's going to be a series of questions. They're either multiple choice or fill in the blank, and there's anywhere from probably 40 to 65 questions depending on the chapter. And the way it works is that it'll have some buttons like green and yellow and orange and red at the bottom indicating how sure you are of your answer. Those buttons don't really have much of a purpose. They used to, but they don't have that much of a purpose anymore. The key thing is, once you get the correct answer to every question, it will report to me, once you submit, after that, it will report to me that you got 100% of the questions right. So it doesn't matter how many times you answer questions wrong, as long as you go back, because it will cycle back through the questions, as long as you take the time and are patient enough to go back, you'll get 100% guaranteed, as long as you take enough time to go back and make sure that you have the correct answer for every question. It may take an hour, it may take a few hours, it depends on how many you get wrong, and so it's up to you, but you definitely have the opportunity to get 100% on every single assignment, as long as you're persistent and patient enough. And on each question there's a little button that says read about this, and if you click on that little button, it will take you right to the page in the textbook where you'll find the material related to the question. So you don't have to go back and look through the ebook just trying to find where the answer to a particular question is. The button will take you right to that page, and I think it'll even highlight the sentences or paragraphs that are relevant to that question. So it's pretty convenient setup. Okay, so one last thing, aside from the McGraw-Hill homeworks, as far as attendance goes, and this is in the syllabus, as far as attendance goes, since you're not going to be in class, the way attendance is going to be marked is there will be like clicker type questions, just a short little quiz essentially each week with questions that you need to answer on Blackboard and submit, and you'll see a link to it. There'll be a link every week with new questions, and you'll need to submit those by the designated due date, which should be indicated on the assignment, and that's going to be for taking attendance. You're not going to be specifically graded on your answers to the questions, so You don't necessarily have to get the right answers to the questions, but it's a way to take attendance and also to give yourself some idea of what you should be learning at that point in the course. So if you have any questions, email me. I try to check my email several times a day, and go to the discussion topics on Blackboard. So email or discussion topics on Blackboard, those are the two best ways to get a hold of me. And please, any concerns you might have, let me know, because I want to know if there are any issues that come up. I haven't done this before. Blue Mountain College hasn't done this before, so this is new territory for all of us. But I hope you have a productive course, and I hope you learn a lot and enjoy it. And I'll leave it at that, and let's get ready to learn.